What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Well, welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. This episode is going to be my top 5 sleeper plays, legit sleeper plays that are outside of starting players that I think you can throw in the flex this week if you need to, or I'm even going to give you a starting tight end that I love a lot this week that popped in week 1 as well. So again, when you drop your questions in there, these aren't guys you start over, wide receiver 2s or running back 2s. These are going to be flex plays that I think that are sleeper plays that could help you if you had injuries in week 1, or if you like them better over your matchup. I'm going to break down why I like the matchups, why I like the players, and give you tons of information and stats like that here. Now, before we dive into it, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. It helps me out a ton. On the left over here, you'll see our Discord, the guys FF. If you want to join in, me and my partner, Big Draft Energy, we cover everything fantasy football, talk 24/7 with you, dynasty values, dynasty trades, redraft, every trade you need that needs to happen, roster setup, reviews, everything. We cover everything fantasy football for you guys. We even drop our pick'ems in there as well, which is why if you haven't signed up on drafters.com, make sure you do use promo code SLEAZE. It will match your deposit up to $100. I have a nasty ticket in there tonight that I think is going to absolutely smash, and both my 2 locks last week absolutely hit on that ticket as well. Good to go there for week 1. Nice little solid start for the boys in the Discord. Now, let's dive in to my top 5 sleeper plays. So I'm going to give you 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, and an extra bonus on top of it, guys. Let's take a look here. Starting off with number 1, and yes, it is crazy to say that CJ Stroud has become part of the sleeper list, but he has. Didn't have a good year last year, had the second year slump, had 8 points in week 1 versus the stout LA Rams defense who locked up Nico Collins. So when you're looking at these stats, it was a very tough matchup for him week 1. 27 pass attempts, that was 24, 19 completions, 188 pass yards was 18, 70.4 completion percentage. You like to see that. That's number 14. Didn't find the end zone. Enticing, though, he had 5 carries for 32 yards. He was not known as a rusher. You can see his rushing ability clicking in this year. That is good for fantasy football. You like that as well. Deep balls, he threw 3, which was 17th, and QBR was 43.2, which was low because they didn't find the end zone. It was a grunge game for them. Now, the Texans' weak spot is going to be their running game all year long. They're going to struggle. The offensive line is ranked dead last. They're going to be under a lot of pressure. But you get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football this week. And what happened with Tampa Bay? Obviously, they stopped the run versus Bijan. They stopped the run versus Tyler Algier. That is what Tampa's defense does. What do they give up? 300 passing yards to Michael Penix in week 1. This is going to be the Nico Collins bounce back game. This is going to be a game where you can throw CJ Stroud possibly into your redraft ranking or redraft 12-man leagues as a starting quarterback who may even be on the waiver wire because people panic after 1 week. He is going to splash this week. They are not going to be able to run the ball against Tampa, period. This is one of the top 5 run Ds in the NFL and one of the worst run games. They are going to rely on the pass heavy here. And Nico Collins, if you need to throw him in there in week 1 as a starting quarterback, you're definitely throwing him in Superflex. I like him as a great sleeper play this week. Number 2, it says number 4. I messed up the graphics there. Number 2 is going to be Dylan Sampson. Yes, Dylan Sampson. We don't have the official word yet on Kayshon Boutte if he's going to be out there in week 2. They said he's set to practice today. They said he talked with the NFL yesterday. I haven't seen the update yet. Haven't checked my phone. If I need to drop a comment in there for you guys, I will on that as well. But what you have to like here, and this is what I tried to preach all offseason long for fantasy football, is that the Cleveland Browns are going to be playing 90 to 95% of their games from behind. Now, you had a neutral game script last week with the Cincinnati Bengals. The game was close. Joe Burrow always struggles in week 1 for some reason, which is crazy. But what we have to look at is, so let's say Judkins is even out there. I don't think he's going to play much in his first game. Hasn't been in practice, hasn't ramped up, kind of like a Terry McLaurin situation, which I've numerously said. But he did out-carry Jerome Ford for 12 carries, so only 29 yards. They're going to have a tough run game all year long. But where did he thrive? He thrived in the receiving game with 8 receptions for 64 yards. Now, you're playing the Baltimore Ravens. This spread is already 11.5 for the Ravens. The Ravens just lost a massive big loss to the Bills where they should have won the game. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to slam it down the Cleveland Browns' throat. And Cleveland is going to be playing from behind, passing like crazy, where Joe Flacco had 45 pass attempts last week, which is 3rd in the NFL. That's what I was trying to preach. Garbage time or not, points count as points. Volume is king. And I love Sampson as a flex play this week if you need to throw him in there, because Kayshon Judkins or not, they're going to be trailing, and he is going to see massive, massive receiving work. Number 3 is going to be Kayshon Boutte of the New England Patriots, who is going to be there across from Stephon Diggs, XY alpha wide receiver out there. Saw 8 targets, 6 receptions, 103 yards, had target share of 77%, played 70% snaps, and dropped 16.3 points. Now, if you even go back to week 18 with Drake May as well, he had 100 yards there as well. So technically, it's back-to-back 100-yard game for him. Now, why you have to love this play this week as a flex play? You get the Miami Dolphins, who just got blown out of the water. It was 30-0, and Danny Dimes had 272 yards passing in that game. Yes, Daniel Jones had 272 yards passing, and the game script led to them rushing the ball more down the second half because they're blowing him out. He could have passed for 350, 400 if they wanted to. This Miami defense, the whole corner secondary is on IR. Minkah Fitzpatrick, the only one out there. The offense for the Dolphins, we saw, I don't even know what to say. It looked absolutely terrible. Tyreek Hill's probably going to get traded. Mike McDaniel's probably going to get fired. Who knows what happens with Tua and A-Chain. This team is falling apart. The wheels are coming off. And I love Drake May this week. That's why he's on my Smash Start video if you want to check that one before. And Kayshon Boutte is a guy that's probably going to give you 12 to 15 points with a touchdown upside for a 20-point game. And it's a great, great sleeper play. Number 4, heading over to the tight end, is going to be Brenton Strange, who looked great in week 1. 4 targets, 4 receptions, 59 yards. Didn't find the end zone. Target share 13.8%, which was 20th. Snap share 79.4%, which is 15th. And he gave you 10 fantasy points. That is what you want from your tight end position. And we got to talk about a couple things in this game. So they are going at Cincinnati. The high implied point total of 48.5. They think the points are going to fly. So do I. And then you have to look at how did it go with the Cleveland Browns and Cincinnati Bengals in week 1. Joe Flacco threw for 45 pass attempts, 290 yards. We know that the Browns aren't going to run the ball. I've talked about this numerous times. They're going to be pass heavy all year long. But where did the Bengals struggle against the Browns? They struggled against the tight end position. They gave up 7 receptions to Harold Fannin for 63 yards, 3 receptions to Njoku for 37 yards. That's 100 yards to the tight end position. And now you've got the update of Travis Hunter is going to be playing more defense because they have to stop Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You're going to get BTJ as the focal point of the defense. Brenton Strange is going to see massive volume in this game, and as a tight end play that you can throw in that I like a lot this week that is probably going to give you over 10 points regardless with a high touchdown upside. Last but not least, I told you I'd give you a bonus. Number 5, we're going to double up on tight ends, baby. The sleeper play, again, is going to be Harold Fannin Jr., and I cannot stress enough how much the Browns are going to be passing this year. And I know that the organization is not good. They don't know what they're doing in Cleveland, but they're going to be passing the football. Volume is king in fantasy football. And Harold Fannin just saw 9 targets, 7 receptions, 63 yards. This guy is 21. It was his first NFL game. 20% target share, 67% snaps played, 17.1 points. What is there not to like? And this is what you have to look at. They're playing the Baltimore Ravens, which we already talked about with Sampson. They're heavily underdogs. They're going to be passing like crazy. And let me throw up a little tweet. And my tweet has more than this on it, but I cut it in half here. So look at this. They line this guy up. Inline snaps, 29 snaps. Slot snaps, 16 snaps. Wide receiver snaps, 6 snaps. He was getting wildcat carries out of the backfield as a running back. They use this guy all over, the jack of all trades, Harold Fannin. 21.4% target share, 28.6% targets per route run on a 64.5% route ran. That is ridiculous with 27.7% air yard share. This is going to be a tight end that possibly you can start all season long if this keeps up at this rate, how they use him. And then you have to think about David Njoku. David Njoku does have an injury history that is massive. That's why if you watch my waiver wire video, this was one of my major pickups. And David Njoku is also on a contract year. We know the Browns aren't going to be Super Bowl contending or playoff contending. There is a very high chance that David Njoku could be moved before the trade deadline to a contending team. Maybe they have an injury like my 49ers with George Kittle. And then Harold Fannin is going to be a league-winning tight end. This is ridiculous talent. They smashed the draft with him. He looked absolutely great. And when you have numbers like this, he's not going to see less field time. It's just going to go up and up and up because he looks so good. This is a sleeper play at tight end that you can throw in. And if you need a flex play as well, I like Harold Fannin a lot this week for a flex play as well. Bang. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 5 sleeper plays if you need to throw them in your lineup this week that I like that can produce for you to get you a win in fantasy football. As always, guys, tap that like and subscribe. Help your boy out. Helps me a ton. I can't thank you guys enough for the support you guys have shown me. I'll be bringing you content all year long to help you guys dominate. I will be live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, go into an hour before the kickoff, 15 minutes before the kickoff for an hour, taking all your questions, talking all week to everything we need to go there. And if you guys have any comments, you can't make the live show or anything, drop it down below. I try to get to every single one of them. I'm flooded across Twitter and YouTube with questions galore, but I will promise you I'll try my hardest to get to every single one of them, guys. And if you guys want to hop in the Discord, the link will be pinned in the comments. It will be pinned in the description. We talk everything, cover everything fantasy football you guys need with me and Big Draft Energy. And then my ticket is in there tonight as well, like I talked about at the beginning of the video. I love this Pick'em ticket. If you haven't signed up on drafters.com, make sure you do use promo code SLEAZE. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And that's all the content really I do for the week. I try to get it all out before Thursday. This is the last video, but I will have a bonus video of overreactions where it's not just me giving you my rankings and me giving you my insights. I'm looking for your guys' insight on what you think about the week 1 overreactions, and I will post that video tomorrow. And then again, we'll be live tomorrow. We'll be live Sunday before the show, and I hope you guys catch the dubs, man. Everything, all the information is here. It is out. My rankings, my stardom sit-ems, my sleepers, my smash starts. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for the support. I'll catch you guys in the next episode or the live shows, man. Sleazebomb out.